Hello, Mark Crossfield here. We're going to do a video today talking about club face control. Club face control in relationship to loft. I posted something on Facebook last week talking about open faces and what that does to the loft. And most people, kind of 90% of the audience, were getting the answer wrong. So this video is the kind of extension of that, to try and explain to you maybe some different ways of thinking about how to control the club face. Let's get stuck in. Right guys, I've hit some shots and I've used GC2 down here on the floor with my HMT unit, which is measuring my face, and I've also used my Titleist Pro V1X balls to give you some real ball data. And I hit 3 sets of shots, so try and explain to you how the club face is working, maybe in a slightly different way to the way you're used to. So look, if we look at the first set of shots here, we're going to look at dynamic loft is the key number. 23.7 is the dynamic loft I'm presenting at impact. So I was hitting a 6-iron, that's the loft pre-hitting the ball, as close as that machine can measure to my club, touching that ball. That's the loft I'm presenting at that point. So the dynamic loft, the loft as the club is coming into impact. Now for those of you out there who are looking maybe at TrackMan numbers on dynamic loft are going to be different to GC2 HMT, so don't get confused with my number if it's not close to yours. They measure at different points basically, so if you imagine when I strike the ball, that loft then moves. TrackMan uses a bit of that data to give you its dynamic loft number. So mine is pre-impact, just literally as I'm touching the ball. So I'm presenting 23.7 degrees of dynamic loft. That's my standard, just normal hitting of a shot. Path 1.2 to the right on this occasion, and the face half a degree open to that. So quite zero-ish numbers, which is where I tend to swing. Now look, I then hit some shots with an open club face. So a club face that points to the right of the path, and it's the second group of shots. Hit 3 with those, and you can see here my dynamic loft is 23.9. So we're talking 0.2 of a degree, so really nothing between the dynamic loft between set shots number 1, which you can see the yellow here, which are grouping slightly to the right and near target, and then the second set of shots, which is the blue ones here, which you can see on the flight pattern here, way off to the right. If we look at the start data of the second group of shots, the blue ones, 17.6 degree launch off the face, 17.4 launch angle with the ball off the face, with the normal one to the open face of the path, and you can see side angle 16.7 yards to the right opposed to my 4.5 when I'm trying to hit target. Side angle, which is start direction, 3.5 to the right, so that face is pointing right of target as I hit the ball, where it's 0.7 with my normal swing. Paths on both clubs, sets of clubs, 2.3 and 1.9. It's almost 2 degrees from the inside on both. So I'm trying to keep the data as similar as I can there, but I've opened the face of the path, but I've managed to not add loft. Now the answer to the question on Facebook, most of you answered, is that the face, if you open the face of the path, you'll add loft. So I did it another way. Another 3, the pink set of shots here. I've swung club path at 0, face is open to the path 4.7 degrees, so almost as open as the second group of shots, but you can see here my dynamic loft now is 29 degrees. The dynamic loft has severely gone up. You can see that in the flight, they're shorter, more off to the right, and you can also see it in the ball flight as well. There, my highest shots, 32 average yards height. Carry distance also dropped down, and also you can see my launch angle goes up to 20 degrees when I open the face that way to the path. So I've opened the face on 2 sets of shots and not on the other set of shots, and I've managed to use the loft in a very different way. It shows you that there's maybe some other ways of controlling the face that you might not be thinking about. If you think just opening the face to a path adds loft, you're missing the point slightly. So show you what I did. Right guys, so I hit 3 shots. I hit one shot where I just hit one of my normal kind of swing, where I aim maybe straight slightly up the left and try to zero everything out to hit target. Then what I did is I tried to hit a ball with a face open to a path, but I did it by pushing my handle forward. So I didn't do it by twisting around the axis of the shaft. All I did is make sure I pushed my handle of the club ahead of the head. So I pushed the handle forwards, more up kind of outside my left leg, aimed the same way as I did on the first shot, tried to swing the same way on the first shot, but just ignored that handle in, hit shot. And that ball's moving off to the right, but it's no particular change in elevation on that shot. And then the last group of shots, as you're seeing with the added loft, what I actually did is I twisted the club around this axis. So I kept the handle lean constant as I can for an ordinary shot, just twisted around the axis of the shaft, which I can see is adding loft, which is what you guys think you're all doing. And then I hit one there again, trying to swing on the same pass as I would if I was setting up normally. And that ball's going off to the right and is distinctly higher because there is more loft added to the club because of the way I've opened it. So if you're thinking that by opening a club face, you add loft, you're missing the point slightly. And I do this a lot with my students. What was interesting on the thread on Facebook is a couple of people actually asked the question, well, what's happening with the shaft lean? And those people were golf coaches. They understood the question I was getting at because they obviously understand that they're having the same issue when they're teaching with their students who are thinking purely open and close is about twisting around this axis, and open adds loft and close takes loft off. It can do, but for often for people it doesn't. I do this test for people. I ask them to just don't hold the club, just kind of, you know, hold it up here, just support it and point the face at a target, which they can do. And then I ask them to open the face, which they all do. 99% of them just twist the club around the axis of the shaft and open it. Great, I say, and then close it, and they close it. Brilliant. I say, okay, you're twisting that club around this axis. You're not allowed to do that anymore. Can you, without doing that, open and close the face? 90% of them, maybe more, look at me like I've said the craziest thing in the world. Well, of course I can't. Well, you can. You could just push the handle forwards, or you could pull the handle backwards, closing and opening the face. And they go, oh yeah, okay, that's different. And then I say, so you can't do either of those two. You can't twist it around the axis of the shaft, can't push the handle forward, can't push the handle backwards. Can you do it another way? And they look at me like I am now the craziest person on the range because they're thinking, well, of course you can't. Well, you've also got closed if the club's got loft, and open face as well with lie. So if all of you guys who are answering yes it adds loft are thinking purely around this axis, then you are going to struggle to control your face to the path dramatically. I have the biggest results with students when we're talking about face to path control. When we talk about trying to get the handle and the head to align subject to what loft they want to hit more successfully. Because 9 times out of 10 for me, people who are hitting the ball with an open face to the path, it's because their handle's too far forward through impact. Their handle is leading, or they are just dragging the handle through, which leaves that face open to the path. To put this spin in a golf shot around the axis of the shaft when the club is moving at 60, 100 miles an hour, whatever, is almost impossible. Certainly on parts of the downswing, it will become impossible to put that in. It's more a case that the face and the head is not catching up in relationship to the handle. Now look, this isn't a lesson about how to do and fix. It's more a lesson about trying to understand. For the golfers, I get to understand the other dimensions of open and close face, so handle up and down and then handle forwards, handle back. People who have struggled with face to path issues and shapes for years, you can get them hitting very contrasting shots like instantly, and it blows their head off that they think, well, I've been for years trying to just roll my wrist. Well, good luck with that one. You ain't going to be able to do that. And if you were able to roll the wrist, you wouldn't want the face pointing left, so you would have to compromise all that loft to get that ball going anywhere at target. And why would you want to compromise so much loft? You're going to just have to have clubs that are so lofted at the beginning. So by understanding the different ways of opening and closing the face, I think you can really start to hit some better shots and understand how to control the ball a lot more. A little idea here, look, people who can't articulate this answer, so if you were to ask me at 15 about opening and closing a face and these dimensions, I wouldn't be able to answer you. I'd have probably said more around the axis of the shaft. But I was able to execute. So what I mean by that, I was able to hit high fades, high draws, low draws, straightish shots, gentle draws. So I was able to control trajectory, so dynamic loft, and shape together and apart. So that means I was able to hit ones where the club had spun around the axis of the shaft, so I put it in before I hit and then hit. I was able to hit ones where I put the handle forward so much that the face pointed so far right that I turned it in to take loft off, but was still able to hit cuts. You see what I mean? So I was able to understand, even if I couldn't articulate it, how to manipulate the ball with handle leans, handle backs, twisting around the axis of the shaft, using the separate dimensions. Now, for most of the people on that thread, and I think lots of the students who come to me and other lessons, and certainly lots of the people playing golf, if you are thinking of club face open and close purely around that axis of the shaft, then you will not really improve very quickly. I would want you to think more about how the face catches up or doesn't to the head in a way of controlling the club face more than this axis around the axis of the shaft, because I think for most of my students that I do that with, the improvements are instant and massive. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think. Maybe go and check out the Facebook post on my fan page. Go and check it out and see what the responses are. It was an interesting question. I think it started quite an interesting idea of what people's thoughts of club face control are. Definitely for me, most people are feeling that they're just turning it around the axis of the shaft, where if you can get those handles lined up and present the right loft, I think lots of people definitely hitting better golf shots with any club is going to be much easier. Thanks for watching. Post comments down below. Love to hear. Speak to you soon. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments. Love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show. Get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.